All right, next we'll work on the labor transaction sheet. And from our Word document, I'm just going to copy all of the column labels from the column in that table. And I'm just going to paste them here. So I'm going to right click and just do values only. Okay. If you type these in, just make sure to pay attention to the underlines and the capital letters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them all again, right click, say copy, and then I'm going to click in cell A1, right click, and type transpose rows and columns. So what that does is it takes this column and puts it in a row, and then I'll just hit escape, come back here, and hit delete. All right, so we can take this opportunity to come over here and right click and auto fit the columns. Then next, from our table in the Word document, we can see how we need to format all of these. So the first three columns are all general. The date worked is going to be short date. Then we have hours worked is going to be a number. Work activity, so that's going to be a category of what type of activity they did, is a general. And then we've got wage rate through total cost applied, and those are all number. And then we're good for the formatting. All right, then we need to name our table. So we'll click here, just like we've done before, insert table. Yes, my table has headers. So we've got our table. Then we'll click again, click on table design, and we will label this table as TBL underline labor. And you can hit enter or just click below. All right, then we have some formulas to enter. So a little bit of pre-filling for this one. So our wage rate, what we're going to do is we're going to be pulling this wage rate from the previous sheet. So what this sheet is doing is there's going to be different transactions. Some of them are going to record hours worked, and if there's hours worked, then we're also going to be able to calculate the overhead. So, and then we'll be able to capture this information for various job numbers. So our formula, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to fill in a couple of these cells ahead of time. All right, and we've got this in the table from the instructions in the Word document. And so if we come over here to wage rate, and all right, so what this says is we're going to look up the wage rate for the employee that was entered here, and that's going to be pulled from the other table. So whatever employee name we publish here, it's going to be looked at in the other table. So we've got that. And if we don't have anything entered, or if the calculation doesn't work, it's just going to be reported as auto-calculated, do not edit. All right, then similarly, for the labor cost. So labor cost will figure out how many hours worked, and then multiply it by the wage rate. Okay, so we're going to copy over this formula, and again, that's in the table. And so this is going to go, we can just click on this even though there appears to be type. The type is from the other cell. So we can just hit paste. And then we can move on to I2. All right, so again, the overhead applied is going to be based on the type of uh, activity and the number of labor hours. So we can come back to that table. And again, you can either copy and paste it or you can type it all in. All right, so what is this doing? So this trim, it's pulling the work activity, but what trimming does is it removes any accidental trailing or leading spaces for the item that you're copying. So that's what that is doing. So whatever work activity you're pulling, it's just going to keep a clean version so that you can use that for looking up the rate. All right, so it looks up the overhead rate by work activity, and then it's going to multiply it by the hours worked. So we've got in column E, so E2, whatever your overhead rate is, depending on the work activity, you're going to multiply that times the number of hours worked. And if there's nothing to report, then it's just going to have this default message. All right, and then our last information that we're going to preload is for the total cost applied. So in this cell, for total cost applied, we're going to be adding, just for this labor portion, we're going to be adding labor and overhead. So that's what this formula does, is it's going to, whatever your labor is for this line item and your overhead, we're going to total those together. So we are all set with our labor and ready to move on to material.